What's up guys, I'm Cooper Carter, and in this video I'm going to do something a little bit different that a lot of you have been requesting. I'm going to go through one of my guitar demo videos and break down exactly how I put together the intro song. I'm going to take my demo for the 2019 Ernie Ball Music Man John Petrucci signature Majesty, break down the parts, break down the mix, and show you guys my process for putting together one of these demos. But before I do that, I want to thank the sponsor for this video that made it possible for me to take the time to do something a little bit different, and that sponsor is DistroKid. DistroKid is a music distribution service that helps musicians like you and me get our tunes out to the world on the ever-growing list of music platforms like Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Tidal, Google Play, and hundreds more. Now, unlike other online distribution services I've used in the past, DistroKid does not charge on a per-song basis. There's simply a yearly flat rate for unlimited uploads, and most importantly, they never take any commissions on any of your royalties. So thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring this video, and without any further ado, let's get into breaking down how I put together a guitar demo. So if you're a fan of this channel, Ernie Ball Music Man Guitars, John Petrucci, or Dream Theater, you probably saw this demo video that I put together in August of last year for the new 2019 John Petrucci signature, Majesty. For those who haven't seen it, I'm going to let it play right now. It's going to go through clean, dirty, and a lead tone, and then we'll break down exactly how I put together these parts. So when I sit down to write a guitar demo for a signature piece of gear like this, I like to try to get myself into the headspace of the artist. So for example, on the James Valentine signature guitar, I was aiming for riffs that sounded a lot like his parts on Maroon 5 albums. And for this demo, obviously, I am looking for a Dream Theater John Petrucci vibe. All of the guitar tones here, as always in my demos, are coming from the Fractal Audio Axe-Fx 3. I am recording this direct over USB. There's no analog out. I'm recording straight from my guitar into the Axe-Fx, out through the USB, into Reaper. The preset I was using for this video is the factory preset I designed for the Axe-Fx 3, number 83, Petrucci Rig. The scene for the clean was the Miracle and the Clean chorus. The scene I used for the rhythm is scene 1, Crunch Me Under, based on, of course, the crunch channel of John Petrucci's signature JP2C amplifier. And the lead is the Leads in the Sand scene from that same preset. So all of these tones are available to you in your Axe-Fx 3 if you are a Fractal Audio Axe-Fx 3 user. So I wanted to show off the tonal versatility of the Majesty in this demo. And the Majesty has both magnetic electric guitar pickups and an acoustic piezo pickup in the bridge. So I wanted to start off with a clean part that was reminiscent of Dream Theater songs. So I wrote this part and then I played it both on the magnetic and the piezo pickups. Now on the Majesty, I could do this at the same time for one part, but to add some depth, I ended up double tracking the part on the magnetic and the piezos. So here it is just on the magnetic. And then here it is on the piezo. So now I can play them both together and we get this. And I added a good bit of delay on that part. You can hear I've got this Manny delay from Waves, and I have some hall reverb from the Lexicon Hall as well. Really nice, atmospheric, very, very Dream Theater-esque. So when I record everything, I like to have a click track going so that I can stay on time And I end up using, and we'll get to this later, a lot of plugins for these demos, especially for the drums. I use Superior Drummer from the great guys over at TuneTrack. So I want to keep everything on the grid. And I have this click track that I have running while I'm tracking. It sounds a little bit like this. And that keeps me in time while I'm recording. For those of you who know the Dream Theater song, The Count of Tuscany, I wanted to really shoot for the vibe of that intro where there's an acoustic guitar with a little bit of clean electric guitar mixed in under it, and then this beautiful synth comes in underneath that intro as a lead plays. So I went into my VSTs and I got the Codex synth from Waves, and I have two different synths playing underneath that intro. So here's the guitar part with the synths in there. So like I said, that's actually two synths working together. Here is the Codex Basic Pulse ARP 1, which is a really nice arpeggiator. And I actually have that going back and forth between the left and the right channels. So we'll listen to that. And then I add in this second synth, which is the Andromeda Complex preset on the Codex. It sounds like this, really nice pad. And those two together make this. So there's the big kick in, and we get into our rhythm part. So for the rhythm part, I went with another classic recording technique employed by John Petrucci and so many other guitarists in the rock world that was originally really pioneered by guys like Jimmy Page. I recorded the same part with the same tone twice and then hard panned to the left and to the right, those two different parts. So here is just the left channel. And here is just the right channel. Again, same part. And the idea behind double tracking is that the small inconsistencies, hopefully small inconsistencies, in your playing create a bunch of subtle chorusing effects because the parts are slightly different. You want to play it as close as possible to each other, but the very fact that you are an imperfect player is going to make enough differences in the recording to where it creates a massive stereo soundscape. So here are the two parts together, hard panned left and right. And so now the lead comes in, and I have put a chorusing effect on the rhythm guitars and played some huge chords. So here is just the left channel of that part. And here's just the right. So now not only is there chorusing coming from the inconsistencies in my playing across the two tracks, there is actually a chorus effect. This is the Dimension 2 chorus on the Axe FX 3. So after I came up with that rhythm part, I moved to programming the drums. Now for the drums, I used Superior Drummer 3 from the great guys over at TuneTrack. This is an absolutely amazing plugin. The samples are so realistic. And I created this kit based off of the Gent style kit. I did a little bit of work in the mixer, but most of this is the preset Gent style from Superior Drummer 3. I cannot say enough things about this plugin. It is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend it. You do hear it on all of my demos. So I will go ahead and solo the drums here so you can hear how those are working. can see here the MIDI notes that I have programmed for the drums themselves. And so here are the parts from beginning to end. So that's our clean, our intro synths, our drums, our rhythm guitars, which brings us to our lead section. Now, the way that I like to record leads is to just loop the section and play over and over and over until I find a part I'm happy with. And I will put together, you see this lead tracking, the separate takes as they evolve into a complete solo section that I'm happy with. So if we listen to this lead here, so we can actually pull this take over and see how it's a little bit different. So I do that whammy bar move there that I guess I ended up not liking as much. So wow, now. So I guess I didn't like that part as much. Let's listen to what happened here. A little off time on that bend. So you see that here we have 1, 2, 3 separate takes that I've comped together. Now then, what I would go do is play the part without any delay and record the DI track of that. So here is the DI track that is just my guitar going in through the instrument cable to the Axe-Fx 3. So that is actually the take that you see me playing in the video. I am playing a new version start to finish after I have gone through and written the solo by doing take after take after take until I was happy with it. Now what you see here is that I've gone in and actually reamped that DI track so that I could then record the Axe-Fx's delays. And what I did was actually go in and reamp the same take with different delays to accentuate different parts of the playing, different delay mixes at different times in the song. And I also went in and played the DI while working the wah pedal because I wasn't happy with the recorded version of the wah I had done in that final take. So what you're hearing is actually me playing the wah as the guitar part is reamped in the Axe-Fx 3. So here is the final lead part with the delays adjusting where I wanted them to based on fading between these different versions of the same reamped take. So here you can see that I actually have gone in, replaced certain wah parts just on 1 or 2 notes. I wasn't happy with how I had worked the wah. So I had recorded the part, but as it's reamping, I'm working the wah pedal to accentuate those pinch harmonics right at the apex of the wah where I want it to be, which is one of the beauties of being able to reamp. You can take a part that you've already recorded and then go and play with the effects as much as you want without affecting that original part. So let's take a listen to just this lead and the rhythm part together. So now we'll add in the drums. And of course, as heavy as that rhythm is and as chunky as those drums are, we are missing something very, very key, and that is the bass. So I went in, I put my Ernie Ball Music Command Stingray bass into the very same crunch rhythm in the Axe-Fx 3 that I used for the guitars, and I recorded this bass part here. nasty bass. I was going for the classic Dream Theater John Mayung sound, so if we put the bass and the guitars together, you get a very, very big bass, B-A-S-E, upon which to build this lead. So that rounds out the main parts here. Now I always like to take it just one step further when I'm putting together one of these demos, and of course it wouldn't be a Dream Theater type sound without a Jordan Rudess type part. So underneath those rhythms I have added this nasty organ, and if you see here I went in and actually programmed all of the organ parts in the MIDI piano roll. I've got these big sweeps and then these big fat chords. And I'm automating the rotary speed here to speed up and slow down the Leslie speaker. So a very Jordan Rudess-esque part there. What I've also done though is gone into our synths and I've added an arpeggiator. And I have added a pad, very similar to underneath our clean tone at the beginning. So if I solo just those three parts, you have the sort of Jordan Rudess part of the song. And then I can add the rhythm guitars to it. Now, truth be told, if this were an actual song as opposed to a guitar demo that is designed to demonstrate and showcase the tone of a guitar, I would probably mix those synth parts, especially the organ, up a little bit more from where they are. But obviously, since this is a guitar demo, I don't want to detract from the tone of the guitar. I really want to showcase that. And so these parts are here more to provide interest, flesh out the song a little bit, and add a little bit of body and a little bit of atmosphere underneath the guitar. One more little part in there that, again, I probably would have mixed up a good bit if this were not a guitar demo, but since it is, and we really want to showcase the lead, I do have this doubling of the alternate picking part. So when I play this very fast alternate picking at the end of the piece, I have gone in and added a doubled synth part, very similar to what Jordan Rudess would do on a Dream Theater track if they were doing a dueling unison between Rudess and Petrucci. And that's the kind of thing that, again, I would have mixed up if this were not a guitar demo, but as it is, you barely hear it. It just adds a little bit of definition to that lead part. But if this were, again, not a guitar demo, it probably would have been somewhere here, and it would have been a really nice doubled part as opposed to just a little bit of a defining staccato lift to the pick attack of the guitar part. So we'll move that back down to where it was as just a little bit of definition. So now I'm going to solo everything except the lead, and you can hear what comes together to support that lead playing between the drums, the bass, the rhythm guitars, and the synthesizer parts. So that's all of the parts, but of course there is a little bit of mixing work to be done to help them all sit together. So I've already showed that I have a little bit of hall reverb and some delay happening on the clean guitars at the very beginning. But beyond that, one of the first things I always do on a mix is to low cut the rhythm guitar parts. There is a lot of woofy bass information happening in a metal guitar part from the palm muting that really muddies up your mix. So the first thing I went and did was just high passed or low cut all the way up to 166. And if I solo those rhythm parts and play it with and without this, you can hear how much of a difference there is. So here it is without the EQ. The guitars may sound like they lose a good bit of balls and they get a little bit anemic, but you have to keep in mind that I'm also mixing that in with the bass and with the kick drum, and you don't want all of those frequencies fighting each other. So if we do go to the bass here, you can see that I've gone in and done a little bit of EQing on it. I've got the Ozone 8 from Isotope EQ going on, and I've just done a little bit of a lift here at 400 Hertz, and then gone ahead and high cut the hell out of the bass all the way down to 2.4. A lot of information there that we don't need above that. So if I take all the effects off of the guitars and the bass, you can hear them together. Kind of a muddy mess. So I go ahead and put the effects back on. Much more clarity there. I add the drums back in and we've got a full mix that is tight and punchy but still has a lot of balls. And the last thing I did mix-wise was actually add a global lexicon reverb here on a bus. I've got the medium live room 1, and with that I've just gone in and put the mix at 100 and then taken the actual level of that bus way down to minus 17 dB. So if I solo that, you can hear this sort of global reverb that's acting as a glue, a bit of a coalescer of all the parts, and just creates a nice bed for all these parts to sit in. Again, a very subtle effect. It's less heard than felt. So you can hear that reverb is way back in there, and if I actually play the track and mute and unmute that, you can hear that it is not adding a whole lot of reverb. It's mainly just acting as a mastering tool to let the parts all sit together a little bit better. And of course, I mentioned mastering, bringing us to mastering itself. I also have gone into my master track here, and in the Ozone 8 mastering suite from Isotope, I have got a bit of EQ going on. I have some compression through a multiband compressor acting on the track, and I also have a sonic maximizer that is allowing the track to punch just a little bit harder. This is, of course, mastered for YouTube, where there is a lot of audio compression already, so I don't want to push it too hard. And tweaking this compressor and this maximizer really are the final steps in how I prepare a demo for YouTube. So there you have it, drums, bass, a lead track, 2 clean guitars mixed together, a left and a right rhythm guitar, and a couple of synth patches because, well, honestly, they're just too much fun. I have a real soft spot for arpeggiators. I mean, this kind of stuff I really cannot get enough of. But those are really there just to provide a little bit of atmosphere. At its core, this is a guitar demo, and it's designed to showcase the tones of the Majesty guitar and the Axe-Fx 3. So I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing a little bit behind the scenes of this process of me putting together a guitar demo. Thank you so much to the guys who have been asking me to do this. I know a couple of you were asking even a couple of years ago and I never got around to it. So thank you for your patience, and I do hope you enjoyed this. Thank you also to DistroKid for sponsoring this video. Guys, please do check out DistroKid if you are uploading music to streaming platforms. There are so many platforms to keep track of, more and more every day, and DistroKid makes it so easy to get your music out to all of them at once. I'm taking all of my music that is uploaded through other distribution services and moving it all over to DistroKid. I love their service. I love that it's 1 yearly payment. I love that they don't take any royalties. There's just so many good things to say about this service. There is a link to my VIP DistroKid page. There is a link to my VIP DistroKid page in the description of this video that will get you a discount on your DistroKid subscription. So please do check that out. And if you guys are uploading original music, please send it my way. I'd love to listen to it. Thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up below. Make a comment if you guys want to chat about what you saw in this video. Anything, happy to read the comments. I always do. And until next time, take care.